Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you again for joining the second episode of Insights Live by Spacestor. I am Gordon MacDonald and I am based out of our New York Design Center. I think we'd all agree in these unprecedented times that we're living in unprecedented times. However, I think this global health crisis has given us a unique opportunity to connect and share insights with our colleagues and friends. We've held several of these webinars and had several hundred attendees at each one of them, and we look forward to welcoming you back each week. There are many on this call who would know who Spacestor are. However, there may be a few that are new to Spacestor, so we'll give you just a quick overview of who we are. On the next slide, these are some of the clients that we've worked with. We've been privileged to work with them, whether they're in the tech world or right across other industry verticals globally. Working with these groups to co-create workplace solutions is a great experience and will always be influencing our development and our innovation. Our strapline, California Cool, and London Design. These are our two core influences who encapsulate who we are. London Design speaks of our background in London for over 35 years, and then the establishment of our Californian presence in 2012. California Cool includes a long history of innovation and vision of this region, right from the gold rush through to Silicon Valley in the tech world, and this has influenced who we are and the products that we create. Bringing it up to date, we launched our New York Design Center earlier this year. It was designed by Gensler, and this was the last big thing that we did in New York on the interior design scene before we've started working from home. However, we'd love to invite you to a virtual tour that we'll be hosting on Thursday. I wanted to just touch on our new lookbook, the Experiential Spaces. This is a volume that we created to showcase some of our best projects, and it includes some fantastic content. So look out a little bit later for your chance to win a copy of this. We're looking for contributions of all of our attendees, and we'd love to invite you to put in any ideas for future webinars down in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And we will select a lucky winner to receive your own copy of this high quality tome at random from suggestions we receive. Also, any thoughts or questions that occur to you as we go through today's presentation, we'll try to answer them for a few minutes at the end of this presentation. I'd like to get started by just introducing our panel. We have Alex Harvey, our VP of Sales, Nick Stedman, our VP of Marketing, Andrew Baxter, our UK Sales Manager, and Bazia Yarman, our Digital Creative Developer. So with that, I'd like to hand off to Alex Harvey, and he will get us going for today's topic.
Thanks, Gordon. Appreciate the introduction and great to see so many joining us today. Really appreciate you taking time to share a moment with Spacestor. So I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Alex Harvey, VP of Sales with Spacestor, and also today's topic, because the whole topic of design individuality is something that we're seeing widely with many clients. I want to give some context around how we see this subject and how it's influenced today's workplaces, but also, as Gordon's already referenced, we've got the current global health crisis, which has really crashed in on our normal life, everything that was going along just fine up to just a few weeks ago. And I see this having a profound and far-reaching impact on workplaces and the interior design of workplaces, both now, but also as we go back to work in the coming weeks and months. So what does design individuality mean, and how's that going to change? Well, from one point of view, nothing has changed. Workplaces are designed for a specific business and for their specific culture. So individualization by brand, by location, and by possibly even sub-brand is something that we see happening across many projects, and the images on the slide you can see in front of you are a great example of that. So this is an accountancy firm in the UK where they had a very specific, very fun, very creative and interesting culture, where they were looking to create a workplace that didn't feel like an accountancy office. That was one of their kind of core themes. So they got this running track around the edge of the space, and this really epitomizes the point I'm trying to make, which is that that brand is very specific, and that design is very specific to their own culture. It's not every accountancy firm that would want a workspace that looks like this. So we're seeing that the design of a space is influenced by the brand and its current culture, but also to facilitate any shift in culture that you might want to be looking to achieve in the future. Because it's broadly accepted that design needs to look past form and function and to focus on the actions and the attitudes of the people who work in a space, and how the space is designed will influence how people react to that. So for example, you might have a very hierarchical organization who want to shift to being a much more open and democratic type organization, and to do that, the design of the space will have a massive impact on how people respond. So design individualization is a key element of workspace design, and we hear a lot of people who say something like, we want an office like Google, we want a workplace like Google. And I would challenge that, because Google has a very unique culture. They're a very unique organization. They've come up a certain way, and they attract a certain type of employee, and not every workplace, not every business will fit that culture. We see every single business having its own unique workspace and unique culture. So there might be financial institutions who say to us, we want an office like Google. Well, are you sure? Are you sure that's going to be right for your business? And this particular project you can see on the slide in front of you, Booking.com. So this was one of their spaces in Lower Manhattan, and they had a great design aesthetic where they were, obviously Booking.com are all about the destination. They're all about the places they're going to take you to, and each one of their spaces is around the destination of the city that's located in. So this particular one, being in New York, is reflecting the whole New York culture. You can see the image in the background of Cat's Deli, the world famous delicatessen in Manhattan, and that was the way that they embraced unique local culture within their workspace. But it's a lot more than just that. And what we see is that ultimately employee preferences lead design decisions, because the spaces are designed to suit that individual employee or that group of individual employees and their behaviors and preferences. And it's really important that workers feel an individual attachment to their space, that it's their space and it's somewhere that they know suits their optimum working modes. And we've seen some fascinating research and studies that look into the relationship between the physical parameters of a space and how that influence the human response from the space. And on the next slide, we've got a quote from Joan Mayers-Levy, who's a professor of marketing at the University of Minnesota, who examines something as simple as the height of the ceiling in a room and the relationship between that and the thinking style that facilitates within that particular workspace. And her studies prove that rooms with lower ceilings are favouring the need to focus on details and particularly focused working, whereas high or lofty ceilings are much more conducive to abstract styles of thinking, brainstorming and creative solutions. So something even as simple as the height of the space can have a big impact on the yield of that space, not just to the users of the space, but also to the business. And we see that the most productive organizations that we've worked with don't just recognize the brand and the culture of the organization, but they recognize that every employee is an individual. Every single person who works in that space is an individual. And to enable each and every one of those individuals to do their best work, the environment has to cater to their specific physical and well-being needs. So workplaces with a configurable format, and I'll come back to what I mean by configurable in a second, we find those workplaces are the most successful because they allow employees to choose the right kind of space to work in every day, best suited to their personality, you know, who that person is, that whether they're an introvert or an extrovert, but not just that, but the tasks that they're working in today, maybe the type of mood they're in today. And it becomes as individual and unique on an hourly basis as that. So just referring back to what I was talking about in terms of configurable, So in some cases that might be adapting the furniture around you in some way to suit your mood or your mode, but sometimes it's simple as giving people the choice. So the choice to choose a different type of space to suit that individual employee and their needs. So it might be a cafe style breakout space for a particular type of task or at a particular time of day. It might be an open task desk environment. It might be some kind of acoustically dampened focus space to cut out distractions and enable high focus work. And I think as we see the current working from home situation, this is going to dramatically impact on the types of choices available, because suddenly home working has become a viable option for most businesses and roles. So right now, in today, we have the world's biggest ever working from home experiment. And we're seeing tasks being carried out really successfully in a home environment. So we see people kind of doing the stuff they have to do day in, day out really successfully. And there's going to be some impact to that when we go back to work, because businesses have had to rapidly adjust. You know, not just the hardware that's provided. We hear of businesses changing from desktops to laptops overnight and have had to do so to enable employees to continue, but also the environment of software, the enabling meetings to happen via Zoom or Skype, cloud software, so that people can access data from home. And this has now enabled, or possibly you might even say forced, employers to reevaluate the whole team dynamic, but potentially even their real estate footprint. So how's this impacted on Spacestor and how we approach our customers? So we've seen that in order to create design individuality, often this is physically represented in the space. So the uniqueness of your brand is seen and felt in the textures, the lighting, the finishes, and the furniture pieces. And over time, particularly on furniture, we've seen that often the reflection of the brand has had to come through in millwork or bespoke joinery pieces. But as budgets are squeezed, or sometimes have to be reapportioned, the creative designer doesn't want to lose the look and feel of the space that they've created. So using a customizable modular furniture piece that gives you the right look but within budget is infinitely better. And this was really why we created our configurator called the customizer. So one of the tools we provide to ease the creation of unique customized furniture pieces for our clients. And it was really encapsulated by one of the designers we work with. We had a conversation with him at one point who said, I love your products, but what can I change? How can I make this product unique to my project? And at Spacestor, we wanted to leverage our skills and ability to enable this to be available to all of our clients everywhere. So I'm going to hand you over to Nick Stedman, who's going to continue the journey with us and to drill down around how Spacestor have created some design tools that enable this to happen at scale for our clients, for the architects and interior designers that we partner with globally. So I'll hand over to you, Nick. Take us forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, and welcome. I'm Nick Stedman, VP of Marketing. We're going to look now at why we built the customizer. So Alex has already touched on this, but there's three key reasons why we built this tool. Firstly, we saw a need out there in the marketplace for our customers to visualize, but also to actualize the products that you're working on. Many of you don't have a problem with visualization, it's what you do, but this tool allows you to actualize the designs you're creating. Otherwise, how do you know that the product that you're designing, tweaking maybe, is actually manufacturable? So a key function of the customizer is to reassure you that whatever you create on here is actually possible. The second is about speed. We recognize that the design development process is getting shorter and shorter, and it's now often a matter of hours rather than days that you have to put a design together, especially around that first round where you have to get a scheme into the client very quickly to get a foot into the project. Well, our customizer focuses on assisting you through this challenge, allowing you to configure something very, very quickly and send it to the estimating team, and we can get a price back rapidly to you. The third reason, and it's a recent focus for us on the customizer tool, is to simplify the more complex elements of geometric design. Not everybody out there is a furniture modeling expert. Often your skills focus on space planning or estimating or aesthetic design. But we see governments and other senior bodies dictating design and modelling standards, which adds to the challenges for designers of spaces and furniture. And we aim to take the fuss out of providing a perfect CAD or Revit model. Users of the customizer can create a design and then instantly convert it to a customized CAD, and hopefully in a few weeks, actually a Revit family. This is another function that we're working on. Before we move into a demo of how all this works, I want to briefly cover why the Spacestor Customizer is particularly unique out there in the marketplace. And this focuses around the difference between parametric design and multiple choice selection. So many customizers or configurators out there work on the basis of presets and filters. So by changing the filters, you're showing just one of these pre-done presets at any given time. So you're effectively just choosing from a list that's been created by someone else. But as Alex said earlier, that we realized that our customers are after one-of-a-kind solutions, and we built the customizer with this in mind. Every product that we launch on the customizer is configurable with every available option. And we ran a test on one of the products on the customizer, the railway carriage, and we multiplied out all the available options. And we realized that there are over 300 million different combinations of this one product alone. So you can be fairly sure that whatever you design on the customizer, there's a very high chance that this has never been designed by anyone else before. What you're creating is totally unique. Now I'm going to hand over to Bastian now, who's going to run through a real life demo on creating a couple of models for you. While the screen is just transferring to Bastian, I'm going to briefly cover what the customizer or demo includes. First of all, we'll look at how to find the customizer on the website, and then how to get started with a customized design. Should take you through how to change the size and finish accessories of any chosen product, and then how to generate some of the resources like a JPEG snapshot or a PDF summary, and even a complete customized CAD block to insert into your project. So over to you, Basia, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. I'm Basia, and I'm responsible for the digital innovation strategy at Spacestor. As a part of my role, I've built Spacestor's customizers. I'm here today to show you how to use them to create and share custom designs in order to simplify your workflow. Let's start with a website. First step is to pick the product we want to customize. Let's go to the Customizer tab. Under the Customizer tab, you can find all the customizers in the Spacestor's for Spacestor products. We are constantly working on adding more products to the list. Let's pick the railway carriage to start with. It's one of our most popular products, and it's a meeting booth. Second step is to choose a preset that best fits your design idea. Each customizer has a set of unique presets to choose from in order to save your time when getting started. Let's pick the first one. Okay. Now it's time for the third step. Let's start customizing the product. On the right-hand side, there's a menu with all of the customizable options. You can choose size, so how many people can fit in the booth. Let's pick 4. You can pick how many booths in a run you'd like to have. And each booth can be adjusted individually. Let's pick 1. And under choose configuration, you can pick the type of the roof that the booth has. Let's pick a pitched roof without back. Every time when you want to look around the model, simply drag in the scene or zoom in or out. Under choose accessories, the railway carriage has all of the light options. So for example, a pendant light, strip light, and spotlight. Whatever I pick in the menu is automatically shown in the scene. And then in the choose materials tab, you can pick all of the cladding materials in all the Spacestor ranges for cladding or upholstery. And here we can choose a different range of upholstery, and by picking the color, it's going to change the color of the booth. The last step, when you're happy with the design, you can either take the screenshot, clicking this button with the camera here, and it's going to download the screenshot straight away. Or you can go to the I'm done menu in order to choose what you'd like to do next. Here we can ask for a quote. Clicking Quote Me adds the design to the quote basket. You can add multiple designs to the quote basket and request a price. Our team will surely get back to you with the price. You can also request a package with a specification and screenshots and all the CAD that is generated specifically for the design that you've just created. You can also save the design for later. In order to do that, simply sign into the My Spacestor account. It's a free online account on our website where you can keep all of your projects. I'm just going to put my credentials in, and here you can pick all of the projects. You can also add new projects if there aren't any. And I'm going to name this design and save it. On the left, there is a summary of what's in the scene. So you can always proofread it and see if everything makes sense. If you want to see all of the saved projects, you need to go to the My Spacestor account. And here in this portal, go to My Projects. Here you can see all of the saved projects, and you can arrange them into the sections. You can change the names of the sections, and you can also drag and drop all of the products around here. I arranged them into current projects, inspirations, and past projects. Let's go into the project where we saved our design. Here you can share the product by copying the link to the customizer. You can play around with it. And I've just pasted the link into the chat. Please feel free to play around with it and open it on your computer. Also, having saved projects allows designers to go back to design, tweak it, and reshare it after discussing it with the client. So that's in here. You can also move the product to another project. Now let's go to my email and see if the design has been generated. And here under the download, we have a package that we just received from the customizer. And here we have in the package, there is a PDF with the specifications, a screenshot, and all the CAD blocks. Different designers and architects are using different programs, so the package contains all the most popular file formats. The only one that we still have to generate manually is Revit, but we're currently working on automating it to be a part of the package as well. Let me show you how this looks in practice. I'll open up the Rhino file to copy the blocks. Here's the design we've just created. I'm just going to copy this, group and copy. And here I have a plan of our New York showroom open. And I'm going to just simply paste it into the scene. Here it is. And now we have to position it correctly. I'm going to do it in the top view right now. So here it is. And I'm just going to paste it in here. So here is a space for the rail carriage. And let's see how this looks in the perspective view. Here it is. And now I can change the view to make it look nice. There it is. So all of the blocks are in the correct layers that can have a different material added. And you can do the same for 3ds Max, SketchUp, AutoCAD. There are also 2D drawings for AutoCAD. You only need to put in a plan. And as I mentioned before, we have a lot of different products that can be customized. Now I'm going to give you a quick example of one of the other products. Let's go to the Customizer tab. And here, let's say Palisades 2. Here are different presets for Palisades 2. Let's pick one. Every customizer is a little bit different because each product has different features that can be customized. So Palisades 2 has different shape. Let's wait until it loads. Here, there are different shapes that we can start with. Palisades is a zone divider. So yeah, it can have any shape we want. Let's pick the simple run. And here under the choose size tab, we can pick the size of the grid. And it's changing. Put all of the grids in the scene. And we can change the number of grids wide. And also the number of grids high. You can also adjust the size of the base. Let's pick a medium covered. And under accessories, accessories look a little bit different to the rail carriage accessories because we have to either remove all of them by clicking remove all accessories. And then in order to add any, we have to pick the accessory we'd like to add and then pick the grid that the accessory goes into. And then we can put some lighting and a locker. If we pick any accessory that is not compatible with the rest of the accessories, it will simply swap the accessory for the new one. So here I swapped it for a whiteboard, and I can just go back into other accessories. So it will always make sure that the design is possible to be manufactured. When you're finished with the Palisades run, just like before, you can download, save, share your design. And this is a feature that is available in all the customizers. I hope that gives you a brief overview of some of the innovative features that are available on our website to help you simplify the process of customizing your designs for clients. If you have any questions, please get in touch. I'm available on chat and email. Thank you. Nick, back over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Basia. Very helpful demonstration. We're always developing the customizer in line with customer feedback, and we're asking for your feedback now regarding future additional developments and features. On the screen in a minute, you will see, there you go, a example of some of the features that we are considering adding to the customizer. And I'll quickly run through what those are. So first of all, is a download as a Revit, as Basia mentioned. This is technically very difficult, but we're confident that we've got a good chance of cracking this. We want to just check with our customers, is this something that would be appreciated and used? The second one is the ability to view favorites and projects in the customizer window. So Basia demonstrated how you can see these in the My Spacestor section of the website. But if you could see previously done designs right in the customizer window and you could drag those in and view them, would that be useful to you? Third one is pricing. There's a possibility we can add real-time pricing as a feature to the customizer. So as you're designing, you can see how it's affecting the price. This comes with caveats. Obviously, you want to make sure that some of your customers don't see the prices you have, but that could be behind a login, or we could do retail or list price. The third one, or fourth one, sorry, is about presets. You would have seen as we launched the customizer, you had 6 or 7 presets there. We could increase that number and triple that, so you have dozens more available. Is that something you would use? Another one is customizer backgrounds. We could change the background on the customizer. At the moment, it's just a white or very light grey. We could add the option to put room scenes in there with different interiors, different interior look and feel, if that would be useful. And then lastly, augmented reality. So would the ability to take your customized design and project it onto real life room space through a phone, would that be useful to you? So we're going to launch a poll now very quickly, and we'd like you to tick any of the boxes which are useful to you, and we'll close it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your feedback. We'll incorporate that within our development roadmap for the next few weeks. And I'm going to hand over to Andrew now, who's going to wrap this up and outline some further resources we can share with you. Andrew.
Good, thank you, Nick. So I'm Andrew Baxter, Sales Manager UK, and we wanted to finish off this webinar today with a bit of a competition to get your mind going and get the creative design juices out there flowing. So we've got a design brief here to design on the customizer. As you can see on the slide there, design a product that will be a popular choice of staff for an informal collaboration space. So if you think of that as where people would like to have a quick catch up with a coffee, where there's a need for some acoustically treated space for a more confidential conversation away from the hubbub of the open plan, a soft seating area, away, as I say, from the main work area, where employees can sit down, relax, and maybe have a quick coffee. So what we'd like to do is invite you to use the customizer for that, come up with a design and share that on social media, ideally within the next 30 minutes, to have an opportunity to win one of the lovely experiential spaces books that Gordon referred to earlier. So the hashtag is #InsightsLive. Share that. We will review all the entries. Someone will be the lucky winner, and you can see the different tags there on the slide. But very interested in your designs. Use the full functionality of the customizer that Baz just run through, and submit them back to us for review. On the next slide, we've just got our list of future webinars there. So this Thursday, as Gordon mentioned, we've got the first session of our New York Design Centre tour, and then further webinars up there. We've also got recordings available on our website soon of the previous webinars we've run. Had some fantastic feedback. So if you found today insightful and useful, please sign up. So that wraps us up for today. Baz will be staying online for 15 minutes. She can give advice on Revit, Spacestor's Revit families, anything, any questions you've got on the customizer as you come up with your creative design now. So please use that #InsightsLive when posting your customizer design. And otherwise, thank you very much for joining, very much appreciated, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.